After years of loyalty, action, and unforgettable stories, Hudson and Rex returns with Season 8, and this time the stakes are higher than ever. This is not just another chapter of crime solving, it is a season that dives into new mysteries, fresh dynamics, and emotions that run deeper than fans have ever seen before. Something is changing in the world of Detective Charlie Hudson and his loyal partner Rex, and that change will test not only their bond, but the very heart of what makes this show so powerful. Season 8 of Hudson and Rex opens the door to a world that feels both familiar and brand new. For years, audiences have followed Charlie Hudson, the sharp and determined detective whose ability to read people and follow the truth has set him apart. By his side, Rex, the fearless German Shepherd, has been more than a partner, more than a pet. He has been the silent strength, the instinct, and the courage that has saved lives when everything seemed lost. Their bond is what makes the series more than just another police drama. It is what gives every chase, every confrontation, and every quiet moment its meaning. But in Season 8, that bond is pushed into uncharted territory. The heart of the new season lies not only in the cases, but in the changes happening around the team. New threats, darker enemies, and crimes that hit closer to home blur the line between professional duty and personal struggles. For Charlie, it means facing challenges that demand more than his detective skills. It means questioning who he can trust and what he is willing to risk to protect those closest to him. For Rex, it means stepping into danger again and again, proving that loyalty is not just a word, but a force that can carry them through the storm. What makes Season 8 so gripping is the way it balances the thrill of high-stakes cases with the depth of emotional storytelling. Each new case feels bigger, sharper, and more dangerous than the last. The streets are darker, the mysteries more complex, and the criminals more cunning. Yet, beneath all the action, there is a quiet thread that ties everything together: the shifting dynamics within the team itself. Fans who have followed from the beginning will notice it instantly. The way every interaction feels heavier, every choice more meaningful, every silence more loaded with secrets left unsaid. The season wastes no time reminding us why Hudson and Rex is more than just a show about solving crimes. It is about trust. Trust between partners, trust within a team, and the fragile trust we place in the people we let into our lives. And in Season 8, that trust is tested at every turn. New allies arrive, bringing with them questions about loyalty and motive. Old connections resurface, blurring the line between past and present. Suddenly, the cases they face are no longer just puzzles to solve. They are battles that echo into their personal lives. What makes this shift so powerful is how it deepens the humanity of the characters. Charlie has always been steady, controlled, and dedicated, but fans will see a side of him that is more vulnerable, more conflicted. His choices are no longer clear, his emotions no longer hidden. Rex, too, feels the weight of these changes in ways only a loyal companion can. The growls, the moments of hesitation, the fierce protection, all of it reflects a world that has grown more dangerous, more unpredictable. Together, they stand against it, but even their bond will be challenged by forces that threaten to tear them apart. Season 8 is not about returning to what was safe and familiar. It is about stepping into the unknown. Every case carries a thread of danger that stretches into something bigger. Every victory feels temporary. Every truth discovered only opens the door to deeper questions. And as the season unfolds, fans will realize that this is not just another set of episodes. This is a story that will redefine what Hudson and Rex means for everyone who has been watching since the beginning. The excitement of this season lies not only in what we see, but in what we feel. The pulse of tension that beats under every moment. The sense that something larger is at play, something that could change everything. The reunion of old connections, the arrival of new dynamics, and the personal struggles each character carries make this season one of the most layered yet. At its core, it is still about a detective, his loyal dog, and the pursuit of justice. But in Season 8, justice comes with a price, and that price might be more than anyone is ready to pay. What sets Hudson and Rex Season 8 apart is the way it pulls the audience deeper into the personal stakes of every case. For years, fans have loved the thrill of the chase, the clever clues, and the satisfaction of justice being served. But now, the show dares to ask a harder question. What happens when the cases become personal? When the evidence points not to strangers, but to people connected to the team, the line between duty and emotion begins to blur. This season thrives on that tension. It refuses to give simple answers, and instead, it draws us into the messy, unpredictable reality that crime is never just about facts. It is about the lives it touches, the trust it destroys, and the choices it forces. Charlie Hudson has always been the calm center of the storm, the detective who thinks 3 steps ahead and never loses his cool. But in Season 8, cracks begin to show. His world is shaken by cases that cut close to his own life, making it impossible for him to remain the detached investigator he has always been. His loyalty to Rex, his dedication to justice, and his bond with his team are all tested in ways he never imagined. Every decision feels heavier, every mistake more costly, and fans will see a side of Charlie they have rarely glimpsed. A man who doubts, who struggles, who feels the weight of the past pressing down on the present. And then, there is Rex. The German Shepherd is more than just a partner. He is the unspoken heart of the show. His instincts, his courage, and his unwavering loyalty shine brighter than ever in this new season. But even Rex feels the change in the air. The dangers are darker, the threats more unpredictable, and his protective instincts are constantly on edge. There are moments when Rex reacts before anyone else does, sensing the hidden dangers that the human eye cannot see. His presence is a reminder that loyalty is not just about standing beside someone, it is about protecting them when they cannot protect themselves. Season 8 also expands the emotional depth of the team dynamic. Each member of the major crimes unit faces challenges that push them out of their comfort zones. Relationships are strained, trust is questioned, and new dynamics begin to shift the balance. For some, it means stepping into leadership roles they never expected. For others, it means confronting personal secrets that have been buried too long. These storylines weave seamlessly into the larger narrative, creating a sense of unpredictability that keeps fans on edge. But perhaps the most powerful thread running through this season is the return of old connections. The past has a way of never truly staying buried, and in Season 8, it resurfaces in ways that no one is prepared for. Familiar faces appear, some bringing comfort, others stirring conflict. Their reemergence is not random. It is tied to the cases at hand, cases that feel more personal and dangerous than ever before. These reunions remind us that the heart of Hudson and Rex has always been about connection, about the bonds that shape us, and the way those bonds can both heal and break us. What makes this season so compelling is how it refuses to separate action from emotion. Every thrilling chase, every confrontation with a dangerous criminal is layered with personal stakes. The tension does not only come from the crimes themselves, but from the relationships caught in their shadows. Will trust survive when secrets are revealed? Can loyalty withstand betrayal? These are the questions that echo through each episode, pulling the audience deeper into the story. The brilliance of Season 8 lies in its balance. On the surface, it delivers everything fans love: the suspense, the action, the clever mysteries that keep you guessing until the very end. But underneath, it offers something more: a story that is human, emotional, and deeply resonant. It reminds us that behind every badge, behind every brave face, there is a heart that can be broken, a past that cannot be erased, and choices that carry consequences far beyond the case file. This is where Hudson and Rex reaches its most powerful form. It is not just a detective story. It is a story about trust, loyalty, and the cost of justice. And as Season 8 unfolds, it becomes clear that those costs are higher than ever before. The team stands together, but shadows from the past and dangers in the present threaten to pull them apart. The audience is left wondering not just whether justice will be served, but whether the people they have come to love can survive the trials ahead. As Season 8 continues to unfold, the stakes climb higher, and the cases take on a darker, more personal edge. What begins as routine investigations quickly turns into a web of secrets, lies, and betrayals that stretch far beyond the walls of the police station. Every clue seems to raise more questions than it answers, every suspect feels more elusive, and every decision carries consequences that ripple through the team. The beauty of Hudson and Rex has always been its ability to balance crime solving with human drama, but in this season, that balance is more fragile than ever. Charlie Hudson finds himself at the center of it all, not just as a detective, but as a man grappling with the weight of choices he cannot escape. For years, he has carried himself with calm confidence, trusting his instincts and leaning on Rex when things grew too heavy. But now, the cases they face touch on nerves that have long been buried. Old wounds resurface. forcing Charlie to confront parts of his past that he thought he had left behind. It is no longer just about solving crimes. It is about facing truths that could change everything he believes about loyalty, trust, and justice. Rex, ever the silent protector, senses the storm before it breaks. His instincts sharpen, his presence grows more urgent, and the audience can feel that even he knows something larger is at play. Every bark, every growl, every moment of hesitation feels loaded with meaning. Rex does not need words to communicate the danger, and that unspoken connection between him and Charlie becomes the lifeline of the season. No matter how deep the darkness gets, Rex is there, reminding both Charlie and the audience that loyalty is unshakable, even when everything else begins to crumble. Yet the challenges this season presents are not only external. Inside the team, cracks begin to appear. Trust that once felt solid now feels uncertain. Every decision, every alliance, every revelation tests the strength of their bond. Some team members carry secrets of their own, secrets that, if revealed, could shift the balance of everything they have built. It is this tension between what is said and what is left unsaid that makes the show so gripping. Fans will find themselves questioning not only the motives of the criminals, but also the motives of those within the team they thought they could trust without hesitation. And then there is the matter of returning faces. Season 8 dares to reintroduce connections that had once faded into the background, only to bring them back at the exact moment when the stakes are highest. These reunions are not played for nostalgia alone. They carry weight, consequences, and a sense of unfinished business. For Charlie especially, the return of people from his past is not just emotional, it is dangerous. Every familiar face could be a friend, an enemy, or something more complicated. The uncertainty of these relationships keeps the tension alive, leaving fans constantly guessing who can truly be trusted. The writing of this season leans heavily into silence as much as dialogue. Some of the most powerful moments come not from words, but from the emotions that linger in the air. Glances exchanged across a crime scene, hesitation before answering a question, pauses that carry more weight than any speech. These silences remind the audience that this story is not just about solving mysteries, but about living with the truths we would rather keep hidden. And when those truths finally surface, they strike with the force of a storm. What makes Season 8 stand out is how it refuses to let the audience feel comfortable. Just when you think the team has a handle on a case, a twist emerges that shifts the entire direction of the story. Just when you think Charlie has found his footing, something pulls him off balance again. Just when you believe trust has been restored, another doubt creeps in. It is this constant push and pull between action and emotion, trust and betrayal, hope and heartbreak that keeps the season pulsing with energy. As the cases grow more intense, so too does the emotional toll. The characters are pushed to their limits, forced to choose between what is right and what is safe, between loyalty to each other and loyalty to the truth. And it is in these moments that the show reveals its true depth. Because Hudson and Rex has never been just about chasing criminals, it has been about the cost of justice, and whether the bonds we hold dear can survive the weight of that cost. By the time the season reaches its midpoint, one thing is clear: nothing is certain. Not every enemy hides in the shadows, and not every ally stands in the light. The lines blur, the stakes rise, and the audience is left hanging on every word, every clue, and every silence. It is this uncertainty that fuels the suspense, keeping fans desperate to know what comes next, while fearing the answers that might be revealed. As the season edges closer to its climax, the tension within Hudson and Rex shifts from quiet unease to a relentless storm. What once felt like small cracks in the surface now spread into deep fractures, and the team can no longer avoid the truth. Danger is not only outside, lurking in the criminals they pursue, but also inside, creeping into their relationships, their choices, and even their own sense of identity. Charlie Hudson, who has always been the steady anchor, begins to show signs of unraveling. The weight of the cases, the ghosts of his past, and the pressure of leading his team collide in ways that test even his strongest instincts. He becomes more isolated, more haunted, as though the walls are closing in. Every choice he makes seems to carry a shadow, and the audience is left wondering, has the detective we know and trust reached his breaking point? Or is he about to find strength in the very places he fears most? Rex, loyal as ever, stands by Charlie's side, but even Rex senses the shift. His protectiveness grows fiercer, his reaction sharper, almost as if he knows that the true battle has yet to begin. The bond between man and dog has always been unshakable, yet this season forces it into the fire. There are moments where Charlie doubts himself, but Rex never does. That silent loyalty, that unwavering presence, becomes the only constant in a world filled with uncertainty. And for the audience, Rex is more than just a companion. He becomes a symbol of hope in the face of despair. But the real storm is not just in Charlie's heart, it is in the shadows that begin to close in around the entire team. The cases they investigate grow darker, more personal, and more twisted than ever before. Patterns begin to emerge, threads connect across episodes, and what once seemed like isolated crimes start to form a larger, more sinister picture. Someone, or perhaps something, is pulling strings from the darkness, turning each investigation into a piece of a larger puzzle. And here lies the chilling truth. The closer the team comes to solving these crimes, the more they put themselves in danger. Every victory feels hollow because each solved case uncovers something even more threatening. It is no longer just about criminals in the streets. It is about an unseen enemy who knows them, who studies them, and who waits for the perfect moment to strike. Inside the team, suspicion grows. Secrets that once seemed harmless now feel dangerous. Loyalty that once felt unbreakable begins to tremble. Can they truly trust one another? Or has the enemy already found its way inside their circle? This question becomes the pulse of the season, beating louder with each passing episode. Fans are left hanging at every turn, desperate to know who is telling the truth and who is hiding a dangerous lie. The emotional weight reaches its peak when personal sacrifices come into play. Choices must be made, not between right and wrong, but between loyalty and survival. Characters are forced to face questions that cut deep. How far would you go to protect the people you love? How much of yourself would you give up for justice? And what if the truth you uncover is not the truth you wanted to find? These questions haunt not only the team, but also the audience. Because at its heart, Hudson and Rex Season 8 is not just about solving mysteries, it is about confronting the parts of ourselves we wish could stay hidden. It is about discovering whether trust can survive betrayal, whether love can survive loss, and whether hope can survive when the darkness feels endless. By the time the season races toward its final episodes, the tone shifts from suspense to urgency. The puzzles are no longer abstract. The threat is no longer distant. It is here, it is real, and it is targeting them. Charlie and Rex stand at the center of the storm, their bond tested like never before, and the entire team must decide where they stand. The questions that have lingered throughout the season demand answers, but those answers come at a cost. The stage is set for revelations that could shatter everything. For fans, this is the moment they have been waiting for. The point where all the quiet hints, all the subtle betrayals, and all the lingering questions finally come to a head. But the danger is not in what has already been revealed. It is in what has yet to be uncovered. And as the curtain begins to fall on this chapter, one thing is certain: Hudson and Rex will never be the same again. As Hudson and Rex Season 8 drives toward its finale, the intensity reaches a level that fans have never witnessed before. Every thread that has been carefully woven throughout the season begins to pull tight, creating a web of revelations, heartbreaks, and dangerous confrontations. The line between justice and vengeance grows thinner, and the team faces choices that could redefine not just their careers, but their very lives. Charlie Hudson stands at the center of it all, more vulnerable than ever. The calm, collected detective we once knew has been pushed to his limits, and now the decisions he makes carry consequences that ripple through the entire squad. There is no room for error, no chance to retreat. Every moment feels like the final turn of a clock ticking down toward an inevitable collision. For Charlie, it is not only about solving a case, it is about holding on to who he is before the darkness consumes him. Rex, ever loyal, remains his guiding light. In the midst of chaos, Rex's instincts sharpen, his courage unshaken. And as fans watch the dog take risks that defy logic, one thing becomes clear: Rex is not just protecting Charlie, he is protecting the soul of the team itself. Their bond, tested and stretched, transforms into something unbreakable, reminding us that sometimes strength is not in words or strategies, but in silent loyalty and sacrifice. The supporting team members, who have often stood in the shadows, also find themselves pulled into the spotlight. Their loyalty is tested, their pasts catch up with them, and their futures hang in the balance. Friendships are strained, alliances questioned, and trust becomes the rarest currency. The audience is left wondering, When everything collapses, who will stand beside Hudson and Rex and who will step away? As the mysteries converge, the truth that emerges is more shocking than anyone expected. What seemed like separate cases are revealed to be part of a grand design, a master plan orchestrated with chilling precision. The enemy is no longer faceless, the danger no longer distant. It is here, it is personal, and it knows the team better than they know themselves. This revelation doesn't just change the game, it rewrites it completely. The emotional stakes reach their peak when sacrifices must be made. Some characters face the devastating choice of giving up their dreams for the greater good, while others must confront the terrifying possibility of losing the people they love most. For the audience, these moments are not just shocking, they are heartbreaking. Because behind every badge, behind every case, lies a human being carrying the weight of impossible choices. The finale builds with relentless momentum. Each scene tighter, each moment more dangerous than the last. The tension is unbearable. Every word spoken feels heavy with meaning. Every silence echoes with unspoken fears. And just when fans believe they know where the story is heading, a final twist crashes through, turning everything upside down. The kind of twist that makes viewers sit in stunned silence, hearts racing, minds reeling. But amidst the chaos, the season never loses its emotional core. Hudson and Rex has always been about more than crime. It has been about connection, loyalty, and the unbreakable bond between a man and his dog. Season 8 honors that heart, even as it throws its characters into the fire. The final moments are a perfect blend of heartbreak and hope, leaving fans breathless yet desperate for more. And when the screen fades to black, one question lingers louder than any other. What comes next? Because if Season 8 has proven anything, it is that Hudson and Rex is not afraid to evolve, not afraid to push its characters to the edge, and not afraid to leave its audience clinging to the edge of their seats. For fans, this finale is not just an ending, it is a promise that the journey is far from over, that even in the face of betrayal, heartbreak, and danger, loyalty will endure. And that no matter how dark the road becomes, as long as Hudson and Rex stand together, hope will always find a way.